right, everybody, I think it's about time for a little update on Van Build 2.0. It has been super hot out here in Las Vegas, so I've been having to kind of limit how much I work. But so last week I was talking about whether I should pull all the graphics off or leave them, and as you guys can see, other than that little pinstripe running down the middle, which I will leave, I have pulled off the vast majority of the graphics on the side. Now, there is still a little bit of glue residue and little odds and ends here and there I'm cleaning up, but I think you guys can see it looks pretty darn good. And when I get it all finalized and get all the little bits of residue off, it'll look even better. Over here you can see I've got a few little graphics on the back there. Little trick I kind of figured out by accident. I don't know if this is well known, but I bought some wool pads, and they're meant to polish paint and stuff for automotive purposes. And I was spraying as I was cleaning or scraping the graphics off. I found that if I sprayed just a Windex or a Windex equivalent and scrubbed it real hard, it was actually taking off the glue residue pretty good. But there on the back here, like on that lower half, you could see that it wasn't peeling off like I would like. So just kind of on a whim, I soaked it really good with that Windex and then used that wool pad on my drill, and it took, I used it over on this side, it pulled it right off. So little trick there if you're trying to get some glue residue off, or some stick or some decals that you're having a hard time with, you might want to try that. I still need to kind of run through here and clean up some more of the glue residue on this side, but overall I think it looks a whole lot better. And I even went and took some what do you call it, the compound, I'm sorry guys, I can't think of the name of it, the not rubbing compound, whatever, but I used those wool pads and tried to buff out a couple scratches that it had on the side here, and it did, they're still there because they're pretty darn deep, but it did do a pretty good job. So I did get a little bit more inside done. Most of it's just going to be a proof of concept to show you what we have going though. All right, so first and foremost, I was talking last week about covering up these windows. So what I decided I'm going to do is I actually had to wait for it to get shipped here, but it did arrive. So I have the Finalized. That looks like a black blanket like insulation. I've not installed it, but I pre-cut these and I put the fabric on the front. So this is what it will look like. I think it looks pretty darn good. I didn't necessarily intend for it to be a real close match, but this just happened to be some fabric I had on hand, and it looks really, really good. I think it patterns up really well with the existing colors in here. And I am going to pull these out, and I'm going to put the thin slit on the back side, so that way when you look from the outside of the van in, it'll just be dead black. Plus, it'll give dual layers of insulation. So this thing will actually be pretty well insulated. During the conversion van or when it was converted to a conversion van originally, there's a few spots where I was able to look between kind of some of these walls, and they had some insulation in there. It's just like the fiberglass insulation, but overall, this will maybe not be the most well insulated van that ever existed, but it'll have a notable amount, particularly over these huge surface areas of the window. So, but I was really happy with that. And then here you guys can see the start of what will be this little cabinet off to the side. It's obviously not done. I've got a lot of work left on it, but this is the general layout. As will probably be obvious, there'll be a sink there. I'm still figuring out exactly how to organize it, but at a minimum, one of these 6-gallon containers, but I'm probably going to stage 2 of them in there. And then I did change my plan a little bit from what I discussed last week, but I think this will work out nice. The sink will be reset down in there, and then I'll actually have a second top that will swing over on a hinge and lay flat. That way, when you're sitting here, you'll have a nice extended workplace. But if you want to close it up to create more space, you can. And it'll be on like a piano hinge, and it'll just, you know, angle back and forth like this. So I think that'd be a nice design to give a lot of counter space, but also make it to where you can, you know, make this cabinet really compact if you want. Because like I talked about last week, this thing has a huge amount of utility in this current layout. I was over helping a buddy put in a shelf in his garage, and we bought a 4x8 sheet of plywood. And like I said before, that bad boy just slipped right in here, even with this cabinet in place. Super handy. And then this larger column down below here, this will be where a porta potty, one of those little cassette toilet porta potty things, will sit. Little flat shelf there. I'll probably put a second shelf somewhere in the middle. And then this will have a door, 2 doors, one for the upper section and one for the porta potty down there. I'll probably just keep it simple and leave this open. Of course, the water jugs will be in there, so it'll kind of close it off a little bit. But yeah, guys, this is it. Not a ton of progress, but I think it's a notable amount. It's just been so darn hot, it's been hard to work on it. But I'm actually really liking it. Mechanically, I'm still tweaking a few things here and there, but overall the van is running good. Another little tip, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that product called Cataclean. It's C-A-T-A, and then I think it's C-L-E-A-N, or it might be with a K, I'm not sure. But they market it to clean out your catalytic converter and some other carbon in your engine. I usually don't put a lot of stock in those additives, but I got this thing mechanically sound. I've never driven a van exactly like this, so I don't know what the performance should be. But there was kind of part of me that felt like it seemed like it was a little sluggish for a 350. I mean, it is a heavier van, so maybe that was it. But just on a whim, I bought that Cataclean thinking, you know, who knows, maybe the catalytic converter's a little stuffed up or something. And man, I gotta say, I mean, it's anecdotal, but like it really seemed to make a difference. I mean, this thing runs, it was running good, but now from a performance standpoint, it feels like it has a little bit more power, kind of more of what I would have expected it to be with a V8. So, I mean, don't hold me to it if it doesn't work for you, but you know, that might be a product worth trying every once in a while if one of you guys have an older vehicle and maybe it feels a little sluggish or something. It sold me over, and it, you know, obviously it seems to be running good with no issues there. So, but I'll check in a week, guys. I think the heat's going to be breaking a little bit here in Las Vegas, and we'll only have 110-degree weather, which sounds cool compared to the 100. I think we hit 119 one of these days. It was just out of this world hot. But yeah, I think this is a pretty cool little project. I like it. I think it's already looking better, and I think it'll just get better and better as we go. So thanks for everyone following along, and we'll see you guys later.